people like me who got off their couch and said, I'm as mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
The man who created this show is now the showstopper for Democrats, causing a huge upset in New York. What this win could mean for next year's election. Strangers come together with the sole purpose of saving a life. More on this heroic rescue that's the talk all over the country.
I went to the principal last week to get it taken care of, and they didn't do anything about it.
So a mom says she took matters into her own hand. Your Independent News Network starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Mickle. Welcome to INN News. We begin with a devastating setback for Democrats. Many say it's a sign of what's to come for next year. Republican Bob Turner, seen on the left, won the race to fill Anthony Weiner's vacant congressional seat in New York. That's a district that's been predominantly Democrat. Turner beat out David Wiepren in a heated race.
I'm really just here to thank everyone for their hard work. We literally had an army of volunteers out there.
This is an historic race. We've been asked by the people of this district to send a message to Washington, and I hope they hear it loud and clear.
Turner's best known as the creator of the Jerry Springer Show. He's a newcomer to politics. It's the first time in nearly a century a Republican has captured that New York district. And Republicans are holding on to a congressional seat in Nevada. Mark Amodei defeated Democrat Kate Marshall in yesterday's special election to replace former Congressman Dean Heller. Heller's replacing former Republican Senator John Ensign, who resigned in May after acknowledging an affair with a staffer's wife. Amodei has this theory on why he won.
I think any time that the economy's in trouble, take the first George Bush presidency, people pay more attention. And that old saying of people vote their pocketbooks, and I'm not saying that as a global thing, but as a general thing, people vote their pocketbooks and they're awful worried about where we're at economically and financially.
Nevada's second congressional district has never been represented by a Democrat. And in your vote 2012, Republican Rick Perry's campaign is picking up even more steam. Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval is the latest governor to endorse Perry for president. Support from the first Hispanic governor of Nevada will be key. Nevada falls third in the GOP primary and caucus calendar after Iowa and New Hampshire. Perry picked up support from another conservative governor and potential running mate this week, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal. Moving on to the safety of our roads now, and a new report shows graduated driver's license systems for teens may not be any help. Between 1986 and 2007, the number of 16-year-old drivers involved in deadly accidents did drop 28% in states with graduated licenses, but that did not hold true for 18-year-olds. Those numbers actually increased. Researchers suspect more teens are waiting until they're 18 before getting their licenses and hitting the road with less experience. Teens with restricted licenses often have curfews and a limit on the number of friends they can have in their car. And the open road may soon be a little more lonely for truckers. The National Transportation Safety Board is recommending commercial truck drivers be banned from using cell phones behind the wheel. The recommendation includes handheld and hands-free phones. It could affect millions of truckers. Texas just can't catch a break. People south of Dallas are now scrambling to get out as a new brush fire threatens their homes. This place is in Ellis County and it's growing. Smoke is filling the air. At least one building has burned to the ground and another fire is now burning near Houston inside Busch National Park. Nearly 20,000 wildfires have been reported in Texas so far this year. Well, it's a story of heroism that has people all over the country talking. Look at this. A group of strangers got together in Utah to lift a burning car off a trapped motorcyclist and pull him to safety. The fiery wreck happened Monday after police say a car leaving a parking deck in Logan cut the biker off. The first officer on the scene describes what he saw happen next.
I knew that there was some urgency and what needed to happen. I was trying to call for another officer to bring a jack up. But before we could even put that plan into action, the citizens had multiplied to a degree where they could actually physically lift that vehicle up off the ground.
The rescued motorcyclist, a 21-year-old man, was rushed to the hospital. He's in stable condition with a few broken bones. That's all. They say the driver of the car could face charges. Well, imagine looking for your loved one's name on the 9/11 memorial at the World Trade Center only to find it's misspelled. 2 letters in Jeffrey Schrier's name were transposed. Memorial officials are fixing that right now. No other misspellings, though, have been found in the remaining 3,000 plus names. The memorial was dedicated on Sunday during the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks. It's now open to the public. Time for Global News Now. A month of rain and flooding has killed at least 226 people in southeastern Pakistan. The government says 80% of the crops in one province alone have been ruined. The United Nations says it's working to get food and supplies to flood victims. Officials say the disaster has affected, in one way or another, more than 5 million people. In India, 2 trains collided, killing at least 8 and hurting more than 80 more. A passenger train was hit by a freight train as it waited for a signal while stopped on the tracks. That crash is under investigation. The attorney who represented Casey Anthony has a new client, and it's another high-profile case. Attorney Jose Baez has agreed to help Gary Giordano, who's currently in jail in Aruba. Giordano was the prime suspect in the disappearance of a Maryland woman missing since August 2nd. Baez is not expected to be the lead attorney in the case, but will help with Giordano's defense. And that's your Global News Now. Well, a mom protecting her child or just causing trouble? You decide. Police say 32-year-old Daphne Mellon of Shirley, New York, drove her 12-year-old daughter to a nearby elementary school for the sole purpose of fighting with another student. It was all over an ongoing Facebook dispute. Mellon says she was protecting her daughter from cyberbullying.
It's my daughter that's getting bullied. So, you know what you would do for your own kids. They call their names and vulgar things, you know, just horrible things. And, you know, threatened to jump her in school. Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of her tomorrow.
But police say that mom egged on her daughter to punch, pull hair, and beat a girl as she shouted words of encouragement. Onlookers from the school watched incredulously, one recording it on her cell phone. That video ended up on YouTube, which police then confiscated. Well, remember last week, the Gumby 7-Eleven robbery we told you about from San Diego? Turns out, it may have just been a prank. 19-year-old Jason Kiss, who wore the costume, and 19-year-old Jason Jarama have surrendered to police. The two say it was all a joke, and they didn't even have a gun. Well, hard to believe Christmas is just around the corner. Well, not exactly, but you wouldn't know it by looking in the stores. Why the early start to the season? And 'tis the season to get sick. How to arm yourself against illness right now, next on INN.